Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining me today. I hope everyone New Year is starting off well. I hope we've made a promise to ourselves that we are going to learn and try to do better. And here's where I want to start today on my topic. If we look over the things of our past, those should be the learning lessons of life. Those lessons would either teach us not to repeat what we've done before, and it should also teach us that we are capable and able to do better. So I thought maybe with this being my first video of the year, I will start there. If you keep in mind, when this whole COVID thing subside and we're able to travel again, the game against you guys is going to be on, okay? Because when COVID first hit and we were unable to travel, the girls changed the game. Their game went from getting stuff from you when you came to visit versus doing it all online. So when you're there, you meet them, they play the love game. Now they play the love game online. And a lot of you have gotten taken for some money that you probably shouldn't have. And that's one of the lessons you should have learned so you don't go back and repeat the same thing. So I want to talk about learning from our past behavior. Because in the beginning, in my early years of going to the Philippines, I wish I had someone to show me the ins and outs. It would have saved me a lot of time and money. But I didn't have that. I had to learn it on my own. But in the end, I learned how to do better. A lot of the things I seen back in the early 2000s up to now have really taught me that they don't really care about your situation as long as they get what they want. But what I'm noticing is some guys don't want to recognize that. They want to continue to go on, do the same thing that they did in the past, and hope to have a different result. And that's the whole thing with this COVID thing also. When COVID first started out, our government officials felt that the best thing to do to quarantine. They want everybody to stay home, wear a mask, don't go out. And in the beginning, I could kind of understand that because everything was new. But now here we are in the third year, and they're still trying to quarantine and stop people from moving around. If it didn't work the first year, it's not going to work the third year. And this is something you guys should see in your personal situation. If giving all you have to a girl didn't work the first time, what makes you think it's going to work the second time? So she takes all from you, and then she moves on and take from someone else. Now, your experiences are your lessons. And some of these lessons are very invaluable lessons. Some lessons are worth their weight in gold. And that's if you learn from those lessons. Because those lessons can save you time. Your time is one of the most valuable things that you'll ever have, and you can never get it back. And while you're wasting your time with the wrong person, you're missing time with the right person. No one is going to give you an award for sitting there staying in a relationship that's not going to work. No one's going to give you an award for staying in a relationship with someone that's basically using you. So you can save yourself a lot of time by recognizing the fact that when you message her and she don't message you back, you're wasting your time. You only hear from her when she sends you money. You're wasting your time. You call or message her and she don't reply back. And if she do reply back, it's days and weeks later. You're basically wasting your time. So save yourself a lot of time and energy. Be with someone that celebrates you being around, want you to be around, and not just only be around when you're in the mood of giving. Because one day if you ever don't have, they're gone. You can also save yourself a lot of headache. Headache meaning worry, concern, jealousy. You don't have to go through all that. I have one simple rule. If a person don't want to cooperate, they can move around. Simple. I save myself a lot of time and trouble. I don't have time to be trying to raise grown kids. If someone's in their 20s, they should know better. Okay? If someone's in their 30s, they should know better. And if a person says they know better and they don't do better, then they really don't care in the first place. So save yourself a lot of headache. Let them people go on and cause trouble in somebody else's life and live the miserable life that they have. If you do this, you will save yourself time and you will save yourself money. Because once your money is gone, you may be able to replace it. You may be able to go back to work and earn some more. But look at what you could have done with the money you wasted on somebody who didn't really care about you in the first place. So this is why learning from our past experiences is so important. You know, this reminds me of a guy that he went to the Philippines. He brought a girl to the States. The girl ran away. He went back and got another one and did it all over again. And the second one did the same thing as the first. So it's like he didn't learn anything. I remember a quote that Muhammad Ali says that if you're still the same person at 50 that you were at 30, then you wasted 20 years of your life because you haven't learned anything. So we have to learn from our past experience, and we have to learn from the experience of others. With this in mind, I want to share with you something that I had an opportunity of reading, and it was very insightful and made me think. And the reason why it made me think is because when you go into other countries, girls see you as the superstar athletes, the movie stars, the rich person, okay? You're their savior. You're the $1 million goose that laid the golden egg. So they want you, and they're going to try to get you. In their efforts of trying to get you, they're going to pull out every stop in the book, including sleeping with you. They're going to give you cookies out of both pants legs and then ask you if you want some more. Some of them are going to even probably bring their friends because they want to make sure that they don't let this goose with the golden egg get away. So here's where I want to go today. Need I digress on that? If you remember Deion Sanders, who played in the NFL as a cornerback, he's now the head coach of Alabama State University. Deion Sanders invited Brittany Renner to the school to speak to his athletes. And the whole purpose of this is to educate these guys on the games that these girls play to get their money. Coach Sanders basically feels that the Instagram model Brittany Renner is a gold digging, dodging sensei. So he basically wants to have her to come out, speak to his guys, let them know the games that these girls play so it can save them a lot of time and money. And I think that's very good that he would want to look out for his players, because he saw he saw all the headache he had to go through, all the money that he lost. So therefore, he doesn't want anyone else to experience what he experienced. And in my mind, I think that's very admirable of him, because when I think of some of the things I've gone through in the Philippines, I don't want anyone else to experience that, because some of it hasn't been pleasant. Okay? I wouldn't want to wish that on my worst enemy. But the problem with guys is guys don't want to listen. They get caught up. They get caught up trying to get the cookies that they lose sight of reality. Nevertheless, Coach Sanders is trying to help his players think and be prepared, because no one prepared him. No one prepared him for what was in store. He had to learn it all on his own. So, what we have here, and this is just a bit of what was part of the article that I read, where it says that the football coach at Jackson State University invited Instagram model Brittany Renner to teach his student athletes about the gold digging birds and the out of your money pocket honeybees. In other words, she taught them that if they are to become rich professional athletes, they need to watch out for women who are looking for deep pockets and status upgrades rather than love. Now, if the girls here in the States are doing that to the athletes, what makes you think that the girls in other countries are not going to do that to you? If she's coming to you with pretense of love, pretense of happy ever after, and you're going into the situation looking at it through rose-colored glasses, you're going to get had. Okay? You're going to get had, you're going to get sucked up, and thousands of dollars later, you're going to be kicking yourself, and you're going to be saying she did you wrong, when honestly she didn't do you wrong. You just choose to ignore the warning signs. Let's call it the way we see it, because that's the problem with guys. We refuse to look at the warning signs, and the warning signs is written all over her face. So this is why he brought her out to the college to speak to his players, because he wants to save them time, effort, and energy from having to go through what he went through. So, as he shows here, and I quote, because of everything she elaborated on, I would have been more prepared for the game of life. I was prepared for the game of football, but not the other game, because I was so locked in, and then I misconstrued what love and some women were. If I would have had that, I promise you, I promise you at least 20 million richer, because of divorces, the lawyer fees, all the bull junk that I had to go through. Now, if he lost 20 million, what makes you think you won't lose 20,000? And even if it's not 20,000, it may be 5 or 10, or maybe even 2,000. But that's still 2,000 you could have used for something else other than someone else's nonsense. Because if you go and marry one of those girls who basically has nothing to bring to the relationship, she loses nothing, because she has nothing to start with. So let's look at it this way. You meet the girl, 9 times out of 10, she won't have a job. And if she does have a job, she's giving all the money to her family, so therefore she has nothing anyway. So let's say you go get an apartment and she come and live with you. Well, she has nothing to bring to the apartment other than her clothes and her body. So now that leads you to foot all the bills. You got to pay the rent, water, electric, food, buy the things that she needs for herself, and keep everything afloat. In your effort of keeping everything afloat, you're steadily sinking. When things start to go sour, all she got to do is pack up and leave, and you're left holding the bag. If by happenstance you married her, well, you got to pay for the wedding, and when she leaves, now you got to pay for the divorce. Still, she's out of nothing. If by happenstance you brought her to the country, you may or may not have to give her money. So now you're still losing. So see, no matter what happens in this situation, you end up on the short end of the stick. And here's what Coach Sanders is trying to get his guys to understand. While you're out there trying to look for a pretty face, get so excited about a nice body, and you jump in head first, you better understand that that side of the pool is very shallow and you're going to break your neck. And he's trying to keep his guys from going through all the headache, trouble, the loss of money, time, and resources that he had to go through. So who's best to bring into the situation? Someone who is doing it. This is what she did to PJ. You know, when PJ first got into the NBA, she got with him. Let me start over. Basically, from what I read, she pretty much followed him from the time he left Kentucky to the NBA. He was in his rookie year when she got with him, married him. 2 weeks after she had the baby, she filed for a divorce. Now he has to give her $200,000 a month. He's just a rookie. That's $43 million a year over the lifespan of the child. Do you imagine what I could do with $43 million other than just piss it off in the air? So this is a lesson that Coach Sanders is trying to get his guys to see. See, Coach Sanders has gone through all of this. He's seen it. He experienced it. And I had a chance of meeting his ex-wife, Carol, when I lived in Houston. Okay? And he's trying to get his guys to see that all the money he done lost, he doesn't want them to go through that. And I don't want any of you guys to have to experience some of those same things. And so I'm hoping that you would take the time and learn from your past experience and the experiences of others. So here's what he says. I do not want my players, my sons, my coaches, everybody that was in there, equipment men, equipment women, I do not want them to go through that. Sanders explaining why he chose Renner as the guest speaker for his team. That's why. She told them the God's honest truth. So helpful. She was very vulnerable. They saw a side that the public rarely doesn't see because she really has hurt and she really wants love. She really does. So he's wanting his team to know what's really going on out there in the world. Because if you really think about it, those guys get into the league, whether it's the NFL or the NBA, they get into the league. These are little young kids, early 20s, and you dumping millions of dollars in their lap. A kid don't know what to do with that kind of money. And then a young boy sees a pretty face and a nice body. What's going to happen? He's going to lose his damn mind. And I've seen this so much in the Philippines. Guys go over there, they see a pretty face, a nice body, and the first thing they want to do, play like they're Mr. ATM, and they start giving. I'm going to tell you honestly, it does not work. While you're giving, thinking it's love, they're taking, thinking you are an ATM. And no matter how much you tell them, what you want, how you feel. They don't care. What they care about is getting your money so they can support their family. And I challenge each and all of you. You close your wallet and you'll see how long they stay. You'll see an instant change in their attitude from being so nice to being so angry. So, in closing, and I'll share with you what was in the article. And it says, and there you have it, folks. Sometimes the best education is an unorthodox education, especially when it saves you a lot of money. And that's where I stand today. I'm hoping that I can help somebody out there save themselves a lot of time and a lot of money. And I can be your Coach Sanders, because I don't want you to go through all that and you lose your resources. Just like the coach is doing for his players. The coach knew what he went through, and he doesn't want them to go through that. So I want to wish everyone a happy new year. Please like, subscribe, and share. I hope somebody can benefit from this. If it's not you, maybe you know someone that could. Peace, and everyone take care of yourself.